My name is Delwyn Bevans. And I live in Wolf's Castle, Haverfordwest, Pembrokeshire.
It is estimated that there are 500,000 stammerers in the UK. It crosses all boundaries of society, IQ and race, and affects 4 times as many men as women. For the stammerer, the simple task of ordering a drink from a bar becomes a major ordeal.
Hello, Terry. Can I have a pint of directors, please?
Straight glass?
Oh, yes, please. And I'd like a large gin and tonic, please. And a packet of nuts.
Ice and lemon in a gin and tonic?
Oh, yes, please. The problems came when I was 15 and began to go out and had an interest in girls and wanted to ask girls to dance at a discotheque. I'd often stand for ages waiting to pluck up enough courage to ask them, and this would involve me either drinking or smoking. I'd stand there drinking and, you know, trying to pluck up enough courage to ask them, and by the time I got over to ask them, I was either too drunk or couldn't get the words out.
I had my dad as a great help because he'd been through the army, and he taught me to be quite tough and to give back as good as I got. So I think as a stammerer you either retreat into a shell or else you become quite a tough person. Now, having said that, there are still times when people say things or they look in a funny way, and I come home and cry about it. I get really upset.
First of all, there's not one kind of stuttering. There's really a variety of fluency disorders that have become called stuttering. We actually think that there are several identifiable stuttering syndromes, so that the answer to the question is there is more than one kind of stuttering, and that for any one of those stuttering syndromes, there are, and I'm going to use a fancy string of words, multiple coexisting and interacting physiological, psychological, and environmental factors. So that there is no single cause for stuttering, just as there is no single form of disfluency behavior.
Speech therapist Margaret Evesham specialises in treating stammerers. She advised Glenda Jackson on how to portray Patricia Neal, who suffered from a stroke that left her with severe speech problems.
What we aim to do is to teach all the clients a new way of speaking so that they can speak fluently. And we do that by a very structured approach. Right, so we're going to start now actually learning the technique, and it's going to be so slow to begin with that if you went out and used it, you'd probably feel that you'd be much better stammering. We teach them to speak slowly, and then they gradually get quicker and quicker until we reach a stage when they're still in control, but it sounds like normally fluent speech.
London, it tends to get quite expensive, so I don't tend to go these days.
When they can do that, then we start helping them to be able to judge and evaluate their own speaking, so they know when they're disfluent and they know the kind of speeds that they're going, so that they can be independent of us.
I cover the whole range, really.
During conversation, the number of stammers per syllable is monitored using a specially designed electronic counter.
Special lies in Fords.
Excuse me, could you tell me the way to Hitchin Town Centre, please?
If you carry on straight as you're going, you'll come to a roundabout, and it's the first left there, and then straight on again.
If you've always been a stammerer, do you know how people are going to react to you and how you're going to react in various situations? If you go out there and are suddenly fluent, it might seem as though it's wonderful, but people start looking at you when they've always looked at the ground before, and they behave to you. People can probably be more rude to you than they were when you were a stammerer, and you're thrown. You're a bit anxious, you don't know what to expect anymore. And I think this is why people have difficulty with this newfound fluency. They need help to know what should be happening and how to anticipate what's going to happen to them in any situation.
Excuse me, could you tell me if there's a Marks and Spencer's in Hitchin?
No.
There isn't. Where would be the nearest one?
Stevenage.
Right.
We had a research programme that lasted over a 3-year period where we looked at the stammerers that had been through our courses and then looked at them again over that length of time. And we had 2 groups, one who had only technique to help them, and the others who had help to become a fluent person and being supported while they were learning all the things they had to learn about fluency. And there were more people that had difficulties when all they'd had was technique, and very few people who relapsed when they'd had this further help.